What's up guys, Cloudie here checking in from the America server, and Vespa has released some information on chapter 10 and the new gears. So in this video I'm gonna go into the TechnoMagic Gear and what you can do with it and how it looks like. I also have another video on the chapter and the raids. You can check that one out as well. And they have also released the cinematic trailer for the new chapter. It looks pretty cool. I'm mentioning it here also, and the link to it will be in the description of this video. But let's get to the gears, because this is also, of course, the most interesting part, or what everyone gets hyped about. New shiny stuff. So let's see what we have. So new TechnoMagic Gear is in a separate tier or grade. It will be called TM, and it is higher than tier 8. You can obtain it from the 3 new raids, Galgoria, Escalon and Siegfried, and they can be crafted with materials that you get from these raids or by grinding these kind of gears. They work in a somewhat new system, which we need to check how it looks like. So let's see, we will be having 3 different types of gear sets, which are called Perseverance, Authority and Hope, and these can be obtained from their respective bosses, so each one will only drop one of them. But they say that it's actually a small chance of them dropping, and there is an upgraded version called Reclaim one. Also, it's new that the items are not shared among classes anymore. Not even the armor part, so which means that you will have 7 different types of orbs, armor, whatever. So you can't have a warrior wearing a knight armor anymore, which is a little bit strange. And they said that they wanted to reduce the clutter in inventory, but what I can see is that this will definitely just increase it. But yeah, at least because this is power creeping our old gear so hard, we can just grind everything that we had, including Manticore, it seems, from what I can see in the stat bonuses. But okay, let's move on. Let's see what we have. So first of all, the TechnoMagic Gear will be equipable from level 91. It has 2 versions, the normal one and the reclaimed version. The reclaimed version seems to have about 20% improvement in the base stat value, so like the maximum HP you get from orbs. On top of that, there will be 2 random additional options like attack, HP. You can see the entire list here, and they have removed stuff like all attack or not all attack, all block or all dodge, for instance. So the list of stats is a bit smaller. And you will have an additional skill, which is a new type of bonus that we can get. Now you can see that there are 3 different values for your stats here. This is because now you can no longer enhance them like you did in the old ways, but you can reforge them like you do with unique treasures now, which is basically you will need reforge tickets and you will need an extra item to do the reforges, and then you can improve, for instance, your 12% attack to 14 or 16, and it works exactly the same as it does with reforging does right now on unique treasures. Also interesting that you can equip runes to the slots that to the gears that have slots, but you can no longer apply enchant options. So there go all our enchanting scrolls. That's curious. Also curious how the stats will change with this, because now you can have, for instance, 4 times 11% attack on a gear, and this is 2 times 16, so that's a bit of a drop in stats, but of course the base bonuses will be a bit higher, so that's gonna be curious to see. Then we have the gear set effects, and this is the entire list. As you can see, it's pretty interesting. It seems to me that the Galgoria, the Perseverance, will have some pretty good options for damage dealers, but there are some interesting ones here, like extra shield, or increased the death penetration, or ignore death damage, or like increased damage when you kill stuff. So there are a lot of options here, and it will be curious how you can put together the gears. Especially if you go further down to the additional skills. Just wanted to point out that almost everyone gets like additional damage to enemies, except for like warriors who get attack and not damage. So that's kind of interesting. Some get like additional damage and attack, but others get like crit damage. Curious, but some options are interesting. Like mechanic, if you have over 1,400 crit chance, all of your attacks become critical hits, so you can no longer not crit. That's interesting. Maybe there will be some crit reduction stuff too. But okay, additional skills. Now this is a new addition to the game. Basically, every piece of item will have one extra line, which is a skill that cannot be changed and has some pretty new and interesting stuff to it, from cooldown reduction to attack improvement to reduce damage taken. Killing an enemy increases attack. There is stuff like increases attack of everyone, increases other stuff. So yeah, pretty interesting, and I'm kind of intrigued by this one at the end, that increases the skill level of a skill by 7%. For instance, skill 2. So as I understand what this means, that if you have, for instance, a level 100 chase with a level 100 skill 2, and you get this extra skill on your item, then your skill 2 will cast as if you were level 107. Now, depending on how well each skill scales with levels, this could be pretty interesting. But there is also stuff like increased soul weapon use. I will put the links into the description so you guys can go through the list. But yeah, that's a hell lot of combinations. I'm sure after a while people will figure out what the best in slot mechanics are, but yeah, or like what best in slot is for each and every character. But there is a lot of combination options there. So interesting, and I like looking into these kind of stuff that makes the game interesting, and KR could use a renewal in that sense. So yeah, good stuff. Yeah, so you will receive all your gears as unidentified at a small chance, they say. So probably you will be getting the base items that are mentioned in the chapter description, and not these TechnoMagic gears, but with a small chance you can get the TechnoMagic gears, and even a smaller chance after stage 3 you can get these reclaimed items, or you can improve them later on, and they have like higher base stats. So I think they show it somewhere later on. But yeah, also you can grind them and get some crystals and stuff, which will let you also craft them. Now you can see the difference between a protection, a normal gear, and a reclaimed gear is like 40,000 M defense versus 53,000, and these are 0-star items. So I assume that the difference will be even bigger when at maximum stars. Also, if you check the base values, that's 40k. Currently, I think a 5-star item is like 20 something. So that's a pretty big jump. It's like pretty much doubling the base stats that you get from gears. So that will be interesting to see how much stronger our characters are getting. But yeah, also reclaimed items are rare and hard to obtain. But there's also like a weekly quest which you can use to upgrade them. They write about that later on in the other post. So yeah, let's go to that one. Let's see how this improvement stuff works. So we will have the workshop of Valence. She is the new Jin in a sense, who will be doing all our gear improvement. Luckily they say that after you unlock it and start using it, you can do the sort of awakening. So first you need to identify the gears. This will cost you gold, and this is when you learn all the additional stats and when you can start using them. So basically a gold sink. Okay, fair enough. Not like we needed that with soul weapons out, but alright, okay. You can also grind them for these crystals. So you get 100 boss crystals and 1 gear upgrade stone for grinding a normal TechnoMagic gear, and 2 times the amount for reclaimed items. And this seems to be separate for each set, so you don't just get 1 type of crystals, but like 3 types. I'm not quite sure about the crystals themselves or the upgrade stones themselves, but we will see about that. Yeah, and it seems that you also only get the crystals themselves. Seems to be not specific to classes, but the gear upgrade stones that you need to increase their levels will be logged to the specific class. So you get like knight or assassin here. Alright, okay. So crafting is an interesting mechanic that they did here. Basically, you need those crystals, and you can apply filters when you craft. It seems that you select the set because that determines which crystals you use, and then you can choose to go completely random, like no filter, in which case you need 1 million gold and 1,000 of those crystals, so like 10 items grinded. Or you can select which class you want, and this will then double the value or the cost, so 3 million gold instead of 1, and 2,000 boss crystals, so that's 20 items grinded. We do not know yet how many crystals you get per raid. Yeah, they say that you can get it from the raids themselves, so may not be that bad, but yeah, so you will need these crystals. Or you can select the type, so like which slot you want. You want a necklace, you want an orb, armor, and this will also make it cost 3 million and 2,000 boss crystals. Or you can select both options, so you can like, I want the mechanic armor, like they have in the screenshot. In this case, you need 9 million gold and 4,000 crystals. That's 40 pieces grinded to get a single one and a lot of gold. So that's gonna be painful. Alright. Yeah, especially because we are moving on how to improve their levels or awaken them, which we currently just do with gold and the random chance with Jin, who loves breaking our items. Now they have also changed this. It no longer breaks, it takes a lot of gold, and you need those gear upgrade stones that we have talked about. And you can see you need a lot of them. So going from 0 to 5 star, unless my math is wrong, this is like 310 gear upgrade stones. Yeah, you have it right. That's 300 items you need to grind. You get one per one per item, and it needs to be class specific too. So if you want like a 5-star assassin armor, you need to grind 300 assassin armors. That's a massive farm, guys, and that's just for one class. Oh, and also if you want to go for reclaimed items, then this is like a 50% increase over those, so it's gonna be even more. And if you were wondering, if you upgrade because you can upgrade your normal TechnoMagic Gear to reclaim TechnoMagic Gear after it is 5-star, and it will reset to 0-star, of course. So you get higher base stats, but you need to do the whole improvement again. Alright, okay, that's gonna be a massive grind. Well, good thing I can just grind all my previous gears, because otherwise I would never have inventory slots for that. Alright, reforging. Reforging works the same way as it does with unique treasures. Really, it's just the same system. It's just fewer options now. So there are 3 values that you can have, and each reforge will give you either a new stat or a higher value of the same stat. If you have the highest value of, say, P defense, and you do not want P defense, then you can keep the P defense option and it will not come up again. So once you have 32% P def, you will no longer roll that if you try to reforge. So if you like have a stat that you really don't like and don't want to have, you can keep it until you roll something that you like more. Like fewer options, but yeah, we didn't really like this kind of reforging, to be honest. They do not mention whether you can only do it with reforged tickets or if you can do it also with rubies. And I'm not quite sure which crystal this is. They mentioned that you need a crystal of the appropriate gear type. So is this the crystal you get from grinding stuff? Or is this yet another consumable that you need to collect? Either way, I'm not even sure which one would be better, because you will need a zillion crystals just to craft gear and improve gear. Okay. So yeah, and then TechnoMagic Restoration. It seems that there is a new consumable which is called this TechnoMagic Experiment Report, which you can get one of them per week through a weekly mission. And if you have a 5-star base item, then you can improve it to this reclaimed TechnoMagic item and then start improving it again. So yeah, I assume that this will be a consumable you can buy from the shop. But of course, doing the stuff with the weekly will be good too. And it's gonna take a while to get good gears anyway. So Yeah, massive farms, guys. We will need to figure out which items we want for our respective heroes, and then just burn stamina so much, and then hope to get lucky. Luckily, you can reforge both the stats on your items. So once you have the additional skill that you want, you can try and reforge the other two stats, and then just go ham and improve it and make it reclaimed item. So basically it's a bit less random as it was with the previous ones, especially if you can reforge both items or both lines. One thing they didn't mention about the additional skills or additional stats on them is whether you can have duplicate lines or not. So can you still have two attack lines, or did they go back on this and you can only have like attack and crit damage or whatever? Also curious, lifesteal is no longer like you can't enchant anymore on these items, so lifesteal unique treasures will be the thing to go unless you're with a character that has built-in lifesteal or takes it from a perk. Unless you don't want to use lifesteal, but in a lot of contents that's kinda needed for you to live. So yeah, that's an interesting change in stats, especially because the numbers are changing around. Yeah, so that's what we have learned about the new gears so far. Not gonna lie, it's gonna be a massive grind for gears, like 300 pieces for one item, even more for an restored version, 3 item sets, additional skill slots, and then still needing to reforge the stat bonuses, plus the fact that you cannot share the gear, not even orbs. That's really hmm. We're gonna have so much gear, guys, and it's gonna be a massive pain to see which one is which, especially because their icons seem to be like very similar. So good luck finding out which is your mechanic orb and which is your like wizard earrings and stuff like that. So that's gonna be strange. But okay, enough rambling for me. This is all the information we have received from Vespa for now. I'm gonna put all the links into the description of this video so you guys can check it out for yourselves. We will see next week how this all turns out. Until then, this has been Cloudie, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.